I am being led by something that's so much bigger than me. And I feel like the most important part is because you deserve to live however you choose. And
Right.
so being able to travel more frequently means eliminating one of the most expensive costs, which is your lodging. And then now you have, like, you're not just going places, you're meeting people there. You have a friend in every city that you go to because you are staying at a neighbor's home. I felt like that was like a major breakthrough for myself, as in, like, wow, I've been my business model the entire time. This is wild.
Welcome to the Pay Me and Plane Tickets podcast. I have Samella Watson here, the founder of the Black Society, which is a folder umbrella that touches travel and entrepreneurship, but in reality, it blends work, play, and purpose all sort of in this nice little sandwich here. I want to welcome you to the podcast, Samella. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling awesome. Thank you so much. I do want to make a little note. It's actually block, and I love the fact that people think it's black. And
Okay.
it's a beautiful plate, and I that was very intentional, but
Yeah.
it's actually block as in like neighborhood, like on the
Uh,
block type of thing. So
I like that. I like that.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah,
But people
yeah.
naturally think it's black because I'm a black founder, so that's okay too. I
You
love it.
have you have very creative names. I gotta say, like you're just like a lexicon of new like words to get into
It's just about perspective, there's multiple ways. What the old folks used to say, there's multiple ways to skin a cat or something like
it.
that. Oh, yes. So I'm
Uh,
doing well. I'm doing well. I cannot complain. It's a beautiful day and I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful. I mean, you basically are a bunch of different things wrapped into one, but I like to start off with the beginning. So this is a travel sort of based information podcast. Did travel, is that part of your life since you were younger? Or kind of give us a little bit of your early days and then into your relationship into travel, and then we'll move forward from there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So traveling wasn't necessarily at the very beginning. I feel like I was like a late traveler. I don't think I took my first flight until I was like 20.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, I
Right,
can
like
speak to
till I
that.
was like 20, right? Inner city Chicago. And this first flight was so fabulously done. My auntie who lives in LA, she flew me out to just spend time with her and like we were like rebuilding our relationship. I was met at the airport with like a limousine driver holding my name,
Oh wow.
Samella Watson. Then she had him drop me off at my fabulous hotel room. And she's like, be ready at this time. We went shopping, we went to dinner, fashion shows. And I'm just like, wait a minute, there's people living like this? Okay, wait a minute, I'm missing something. And so, because I would do like road trips or whatever for school or things of that
Yeah.
sort, but like that was my first, I feel like, eye-opening experience to be like, I want to be a rich auntie too. And
Right.
so and so once she opened up those like opened up my eyes, I'm like, what else? Where else can I go? What else can I do? And my traveling kind of coincided with moving because
Gotcha.
I've moved to several different places. Kind of what I call like hybrid nomadic a little bit. I've been that type of girl, but I didn't even know that that was the language
Right.
behind it at the time. And so after that one fabulous trip, I'm like, I need more of that. What can I do to make that happen? And so that's kind of where my love for it opened up my eyes, and I was ready to go wherever I needed to go from that point on.
Do you remember? So so basically your first true kind of travel experience was family related. Did that bring you to maybe or inspire you to kind of do larger travels? Because when we talk to guests who started traveling later on, like in college or in their 20s,
Hmm.
it was always it might have been something college related, and then that inspired them, whether it be a study abroad or something like that. It inspired them to sort of now say, okay, I did California, but now what does like Portugal or Patagonia have to offer it. Like because they go wild with it, And we're
Yes,
spoon fed,
yes,
like some of us.
yes. So yeah, it definitely after LA, I want to say because I went to Miami a few times and I was like, I am moving here. I don't know what's going on, but I'm moving here. I don't even know how I'm going to make it happen. And so I moved to Miami in 2012. I lived in Atlanta for like a few months. And so at that point, I think it opened up the adventurous part of me, the
I understand.
explorer in me, right? And so now I'm like, oh, where do I want to live? Where do I want to go? And then when I was in Miami for a total of 11 years. But what I don't often share, but it's a thing, is I moved to St. John, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and I was there for like 2 years. And so, but when I moved to St. John, you can catch a flight to Puerto Rico for 40 and 45 minutes. You could be from up in the
Oh,
air to the ground, 45 minutes. So we used to take day trips to Puerto Rico just to go shopping or go to
nice.
dinner or whatever, right? And so then from there, I'm like, what other islands are there? And then I would go to the British Virgin Islands. My friend had a boat and we would just take the boat over to Virgin Gorda or Jos Van Dyke. And so my eyes begin to open. And then now when I'm planning like birthday trips or something, like during that time, I would really be like, I'm going to somebody's island. I want to go to somebody's island. So I've been to 13 different islands
Okay.
and lived in 8 different cities.
Wow.
So that's why I'm kind of like hybrid. But as I look ahead, if I had my way, I intend on Q3 and Q4 doing international traveling and kind of just seeing what the world has to offer.
Right. And you're getting kind of the true authentic experience because you're staying there for beyond what is PTO normally for many people. And I'm always interested in individuals who are pioneers or rebels. Because, gratefully, we had a conversation before where you mentioned the three freedoms. And early in life, you were able to experience that location freedom,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
there's a power in that, and I'm seeing it, and even the way that you're describing it, to make that Miami decision or even to make the Virgin Island decision is impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. But you know how you following something, but because I didn't have this type of language to put to my life when
Right.
I was living it. I was just
Pioneering.
curious, excited, and like, what's holding you back? You don't have
Right.
kids, you're not married, you acting like Dora the Explorer, so let's do it. And so it was really just my explorer just leading me to places. And then
Mhm.
as I discovered more, I wanted to know more.
Right. Understand. Uh, for the listeners, what are the three freedoms? Because before we get into sort of the mission of your firm and also kind of your own, I like to start with like your individual moxie, because that's a lot of times the foundation of these entrepreneurial ideas or even these sort of game-changing ideas. What are the three freedoms that you sort of laid out?
So first of all, thank you for letting me know that we're doing some game-changing stuff. That makes me so, because when you be writing it down, you be like, I hope the people can receive what I'm trying to, give off.
Right.
So, my focus in life and what I want for my community the most is, like you said, three freedoms: location freedom, which means you can go be wherever you choose on any given day. Creative freedom. You can be your most authentic self and show up in rooms. If you're colorful, be great, and then financial freedom. Because in order to be able to be as colorful as you want and travel as much as you want, you have to be able to have that financial backing behind you.
Or-
And all three of those freedoms uh, for me equals a bleisure lifestyle, which I think everybody deserves to live. That's my movement. Bleisure, I'm focused on the bleisure movement for
There
the
it
people
is.
who wants to come with me.
Well, you let us right into it. I was saving that one for the big package, but tell us, man, because I love it. I love it. I kind of already got the sneak peek, but I want the people to know what is Bleisure. Give us the history of how this all started, but what is it first?
Yeah, so bleisure is the idea of mixing your business endeavors, purpose, uh, like you said, personal moxie, right? What your no your expert domain, right? With the leisure side. So business and leisure, and that leisure side is being able to freely explore the world, freely experience yourself in other communities and cultures. So a bleisure lifestyle for me feels like the ultimate form of abundance because you are yourself everywhere you go, and
Mhm.
you don't tell yourself you can't go anywhere because there's a restriction, or there like
Right.
you are freely doing what your best and highest self wants to do.
Oh, wow.
And you get to do it on your own terms.
The, uh, and yeah, it's definitely a very abundant way of thinking, and I understand that it is game changing because many are still used to sort of the, hamster on the wheel sort of procedure with a little bit of freedom every now and again. Uh, I always say, travel is a luxury, but it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
It can be a normal way of living, and it does break sort of the bubble that you were sort of, placed in. Um, when you've concocted Bleisure, do you find it tough to sell that idea to people who are not familiar with either travel and living that sort of entrepreneurial leisure lifestyle? Is it tough to sell it?
So I think it was until I realized I've been living it the entire time.
That's
I
true.
didn't, I didn't even, like I said, doing something and then have it language to like share it with other people. And so it oftentimes, because it is something that is like unfamiliar and uncapped, right? Like there is no one way to live a bleisure life, right? And so I do find that I have to be vivid. I have to like paint the picture for people. And then once they see the picture, the next question they have is like, but how can you do that? And
Right.
so then that's where those three freedoms kind
Gotcha.
of like
Right.
pillar that and allow people to understand. Listen, if you turn yourself into an entrepreneur, you have these digital whatevers, or you work from your computer anyway,
Yeah.
you have a community who's helping you stay focused, time manage, productivity, best practices, and then you can home exchange. Sounds like you got it going on right here. It sounds like,
Right.
with those three things moving cohesively, you can literally unlock the bleisure lifestyle. But to your point, there is absolutely a mindset shift that has to happen because sometimes, and I'm very guilty of it. I find myself, it took me a while to be like, I'm going to take a nap in the middle of the day.
Right.
And I'm like, but why do you feel guilty? Is your work done?
Yeah.
Okay, so even if you still have more work to do, are you going to be able to get it done? Yeah. Okay,
Mm,
so who do you need to explain that you want to rest in the middle of the day while the sun is up?
that's right.
Like and I find that I have to give myself permission,
Mhm.
me, and once I started gifting myself with permission, oh, it doesn't matter because I can
Right.
produce creatively, and maybe my creative producing is at 3 a.m. in the morning.
That's very true. Right.
And so once I understood my own rhythm, how I produce, how I show up, and what's going to make me the happiest, the permission then just kind of started gifting me. And I just like, wait, this is awesome. Other people need to know about this. And because you've been living it, you should be the one who introduced it.
Right. You basically lived it, you become the expert on it. And because that blame Henry Ford for the way that people work and live, you
Mm-hmm.
know, they're not
Mm-hmm.
used to that sort of it's like it hasn't opened up on that side of the brain, where it's like, oh,
Yep.
that can be a possibility to understand that you don't have to necessarily do it, morning to night. Hans Zimmer, the musical choreographer for a lot of big major movies, he works at night. He's like, he does not do anything during the day. Like for him, it's like his day doesn't start till 10 p.m. because right,
Listen, you should be able to do it on where you're going to produce your highest quality of work.
exactly. And that's how it should be. You shouldn't have to be so limited to I guess a set structure, right?
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to that level of thinking, technology has definitely changed our society and it has allowed that to happen, right? Um, what I'm trying to get to is we're seeing now more people wanting to be entrepreneurial, but they don't necessarily know what they want to preneur yet, is what I like to say.
Mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm,
know?
mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of this like, okay, I would like to do this, Samella. What's the best way to sort of cultivate, okay, what can I do? How do I service a particular hole in a business or a need that, will allow me to be bleisurefull?
Yes, yes, yes. So, during our conversation a few weeks ago, I was actually fasting, right? Yesterday, I just finished a 25-day fast, and I'm like, yes, you got this.
You got the
So,
burger.
yes, you did. Well, not yet. I haven't had my meat intake for the day yet. So I'm like, okay, what do we want? But
Right.
that's neither here nor there. So during the fast, it was revealed to me in my mind, I was focusing on home exchange, affordability,
Mm,
community, house swapping, sustainability, right? I was like, oh, yeah, this is awesome. But to your point,
mm,
before people can even travel so freely and so frequently, they have to have somewhere to go.
right.
These bills have to be able to be paid for, and they kind of want to know somebody before they get there, right? Like, how am I going to do all these things? And so I implemented in introducing. So this is amazing. This timing of this conversation is beautiful because I am now creating a campaign around putting that first pillar in front of block, right? Originally, we were just a home exchange community. But the first pillar is, how do I become an entrepreneur? Or I kind of got this thing, I'm not really sure how to make it a real full fledged generating income or to digitize it in systems. And so our model is a thought leadership portion first, which is the business side of things, and then the home exchange is the leisure side of things, right? Because
Got it.
if you want to be able to live leisurely, that means you got to make some money
That's right.
and you got to be able to work from your laptop anywhere. And so, one of the gifts that I have is that I've tripped, fell, got punched, got all those things in the entrepreneurial world. So,
Hmm.
if I did those things already and I can help you not have to do those things, then I'm also packaging because I've been a full time entrepreneur since 2019. I
Congratulations.
have only God has that answer. I don't even know how, but
Well, you
I've been
passed your 5-year mark, so you're
yes, yeah,
good.
literally. And it's like, wait, what? But as I sat with that thought of incorporating this entrepreneurial hub in front of the home exchange, I was like, you have so much experience, you have so much knowledge, you have like, let's create a community for the people who are serious and want to discover how to do it, when to do it, and need help. Like, we exchange notes, we share tools and resources, right? And I'm not the only thought leader because you know something that I don't know, and I know something that you don't know. Why we can't exchange notes the same way we can exchange homes?
Ah,
And so
that simple spark of an idea right there.
right there. And so
Yeah.
it was kind of like, I felt like that was like a major breakthrough for myself, as in, like, wow, I've been my business model the entire time. This is wild. And a breakthrough, as in, like, people are searching, as we said earlier, the world is getting loud. We don't want to miss our mark. And so people are like, how can I stay focused? How can I tune out this noise? Where is my community where I can thrive? All parts of me can thrive. And so I have the ability to bring those creatives, those early entrepreneurs, and maybe even like those aspiring entrepreneurs, but who are serious about taking the next step,
Right.
together, and we figure it out. We
Right.
let's figure this out.
And that's the whole point. It's not that you're gonna actually give them the answer. That's for them to find out for themselves. What you're doing is
Yes,
providing them sort of like the framework of what can be. And
Yes.
being that you have already have the framework and you're also an acting member of that framework with your own business. Let's lead right into it. Block, home
Yes.
exchanges, uh, just to kind of for me to interject a little bit, I do believe home exchange programs and also home exchanges in general by what you're doing is the next level of Airbnb. It's the in between. It's higher than Airbnb, and it's on the same playing field of the hospitality sector in terms of hotels and things of that nature.
Hmm.
Mainly because we're seeing the fight against over tourism. We're seeing that travel is becoming the Louis Vuitton affordability. These things aren't necessarily sustainable. And
They're
so
not.
home exchanges are the is the answer. So give us the spark. I mean, it's a trend in 2025. How did
Yes.
you how are you molding this all together?
So first of all, to be very transparent, I am um to touch a few points on what you just said, like I am being led by something that's so much bigger than me, right? So a lot of it I understand and I know, but I am actively working to speak to the people so that they can understand it and know because home exchange is not a new idea. It's just not as familiar because of the glamorization, if I made that word up, I'm not really sure. But like
You're right. You're good. You're good.
um because hotels do an amazing job, Airbnb does an amazing job, and so you think that those are the only ways that you can travel, and then the barriers of like, can I trust somebody in my home, like all
Right.
those things. And so my role in making home exchange a more household understood lodging option is by putting people first, understanding that I see you. I understand what you're going through because I'm that same girl. And so I think, and what I'm understanding is my relatability in we doing this together is going to be more like a grassroots community, and then we're going to be able to take it to the moon
Next level.
because it is sustainable, because you are generating income, and because you are discovering yourself along the way. And so yeah, there's reports that say by 2030 home exchange will be um like a $80 billion mark, like
Yeah.
it's going to be crazy. But I think it starts with just kind of turning that light on, and maybe it's dimly on already, but making it more bright so
Mhm.
that others can kind of see themselves. And I've been that example without knowing that I was that example. So I'm excited to lead the movement. I am up against some things because it takes the mind
Mhm.
to be shifted and understand why the shift is important. And I feel like the most important part is because you deserve to live however you choose. And
Right.
so being able to travel more frequently means eliminating one of the most expensive costs, which is your lodging.
That yeah.
And then now you have, like, you're not just going places, you're meeting people there. You have
Yeah.
a friend in every city that you go to because you are staying at a neighbor's home.
Yeah, it's very neighborly. That's a really
Yeah.
good connective way to be. I wanted to just jump back a little bit to add, to what you're doing. It's the yeah, it's home exchange, of course, is a proven concept. It's there, it exists. It's just not as vocalized or even
Hmm.
as utilized as it should be. And what you're doing is almost like the famous Amos, where they figured out a way to, make cookies sweet and you can package it and sell it. And, prayerfully you trap that where you can keep it and it doesn't get sold to Entenmann's and they can, sort of capitalize on it for their own benefit. But the question with home exchanges, it is about people who are both traveling, going into each other's home, being able to be in the neighborhood, have a much more authentic experience while traveling than if they were to do it at any other particular medium if everything was the same, right?
Yes.
And my question is, do you find it any challenging in selling that to other people who do want to travel, but do have that concern of, do I want somebody in my house, even if, they're the best person in the world? some people
Hmm.
do view their homes as like a it's a sanctuary, you know.
Absolutely. Yes, but I do want to say our model, we're focused on those first, those creative entrepreneurs who understand the value of almost like a barter system,
Oh, okay.
right? Like,
Gotcha.
so
There you go.
they understand that maybe you have a graphic designer that you're going to bring in, but you give them X amount of free credits for your, they
See what
understand
you're
how
saying.
to use their resources to become more resourceful. So that's the first layer. And then it doesn't always have to be direct exchanges, meaning because I'm going to Memphis this weekend,
Mhm.
I don't need to stay at somebody's um home in Memphis, or I don't have a member in Memphis, right? But now that frees up my Brooklyn spot. So somebody can come into Brooklyn and stay in my spot while
Right.
I'm gone. I don't have to directly stay at their spot,
I see what you're saying. Oh, okay,
right?
got you.
So it doesn't have to be at the same time with the same neighbor.
Got you. And does it's not that structured like the way I guess it was ordinarily.
Right. But that's why we're a community, right? Because it's not random people asking to stay at your home. They are in the community already. And of course, with anything, I am forward thinking. And so for me, that feels like leveraging the latest technology to ensure that we are building with the trust component in there, the anti-fraud component, right? So we will build with AI so that we can make sure that our members are safe, right? And I'm thinking about it in a like voice biometrics way, but that's as far as I'll touch. But AI will help us provide that extra layer of deep trust, but it really starts with the community and making sure that we're verifying them, making sure that they are who they say they are. And because you are a business owner, you don't have time for your reputation to be messed up
Exactly.
because you want to do business and you want
Right.
customers and you are easily you're able to be verified like
Mhm.
because you're out in the world making noise anyway about your awesome products, services, or whatever. Um, and then you are taking the risk just like I'm taking the risk.
Yeah.
So if something comes up missing in my home,
You know who it is.
first of all, we don't need to automatically assume that somebody stole something. Like I want to even shift that mindset, right? Like because how many times have you lost something in your house? You know ain't nobody been in your house. And you like, where's this at? And then you be like, oh my God, I do remember tucking it in here 2 weeks ago.
I'm
Relax,
guilty. I'm guilty.
relax. Nobody stole from you because guess what? These are people who are shifting the world and building empires. So, like, stealing your $27 headphones is not really a thing,
Right.
because you found them later and now you feel embarrassed, right? So, I want to kind of bake in a culture of there are still good human beings that exist. I'm
Yeah.
up against a lot, but I do believe that we still exist. We still are here. And we're going to, the goal is to get them in, but we're going to leverage the technology and the innovation side to verify it. But the community part, like because we are all members, because we are verified, and you can just slide up on your member and be like, "What's up? Like, what happened?" Like I want it to be very like transparent and like let's talk to each other with love. Let's be kind. Let's be nice, people.
Right. Yeah, look, yeah, you're definitely up against, I guess, like the way people
A
are
lot.
thinking about that. Right. Yeah. I'm not gonna
Woo!
sugarcoat it, but
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus. I don't even know how I signed up for this, but I'm excited about it.
But I believe you're the right one for who's cold for this, honestly. So
Thank you. Thank you.
you mentioned it earlier, and I ask every business leader this. AI is the hot kid in the classroom. What how is AI impacting your vision? I know you mentioned in terms of basically security and also ensuring particular protocols are taking place, but how else is AI maybe impacting your business development and your business right now?
So, one of the things, I talk about mindset a lot, but mindset is really rooted in like my spirituality. And so in the midst of me knowing that I'm building a calling and this is not about me, one of the things that was revealed to me in like my prayer and in my like hyper focused time is that everything that I do is going to have what I call this C approach, which is spirituality,
Mhm.
entrepreneurship, and AI, right? Because I refuse to allow marginalized people to miss this train. Because if we miss the train, we are going to be priced out.
Well, of
And
course.
because it's still very early, I believe it's anybody's game. So I host free workshops to kind of teach the everyday person this is what AI is, this is why it works, this is how I use it, right? Like to kind of just get them comfortable in using it in their everyday life. In February, I'm going to do some workshops about how to leverage AI to travel and then leverage AI for everyday people. So it is something that I am actively learning, but instead of me waiting till I learn it to start teaching it to other people, I'm like, let's learn it together, y'all. Like,
Right.
let's take everything that I'm doing is let's take this journey together. And so those are the three things that I believe can switch on the abundant mindset: spirituality, entrepreneurship, and AI, right? And
Excellent.
AI could be like the latest technologies, but AI specifically because it's going to be as big as the internet.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
It's,
this is yeah.
it's on the way. And so I really put that in kind of like the core of everything I do. I remember one time ChatGPT was down and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do with my life? I can't breathe right now. And so it is a big piece of me in my everyday life. And I'm so comfortable with it, but I'm also like, what don't I know? And I don't necessarily need to know from a coding perspective. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I want to know from a basic understanding why it matters. And then my creative mind will then start building the use cases
Yeah.
around how I can make my life easier or make my community life easier by incorporating AI.
Got you. So it's basically use cases, and also time is your most valuable asset. So you're like, you know what? Let's all do this together because this is gonna look, the train's already moving. That so get on
Let's do
that.
it
Yeah.
together. Hurry up. And I can't afford to wait till I know it and be, oh my God, this and this and this to start teaching people. And that's usually what happens with entrepreneurship, like, or even traveling, right? We don't talk about the thing until we've experienced it.
Mhm.
But what if I can share with you how I'm thinking about experiencing it, open up the conversation so you could tell me how you experienced it. I each exchange notes, and then I can maybe set myself up for success to experience it better because I invited you to the conversation. And you told me, Samella, if I were you, I would really think about booking my plane tickets with my points instead of paying for it with cash, because now
Right.
you can reallocate that cash to your spending
Someone
budget
else.
or to do something culturally, right? And so I know I have an umbrella of concepts, and I can't keep up with myself sometimes, but they're all so aligned.
Yeah. Okay. And I like to ask every entrepreneur, every leader in this sector these particular questions because we on the podcast we want to also get to know the chief executive themselves, such as yourself. How do you balance it all? What are you doing to kind of keep the because we meet a lot of chiefs who are growing something and they spend so much on growing it that they almost feel like, okay, how do I keep myself in check so the business still stays alive and the business still ends up helping many other people. Again, in this way, you're almost wealth creating for other individuals. How do you keep it all together? Give us sort of your secret sauce?
Um, my roots in spirituality is very much one of like, I don't believe that I can do anything that is serving people if I don't first know who I am. So I am very big on like mindset, spirituality. What does my creator want from me? And then once I understand what my creator wants from me, I can easily create from that place. So spirituality is huge. And I like to think of things more with a rhythm than a balance, right?
Okay.
Because I enjoy dancing. That's one of my favorite pastimes. And so, like, when I go dancing, I'm just like my free self and I'm like dancing to the beat,
Yeah.
depending on the song. And so, in life, you can find your rhythm, to my point earlier. If I know I'm more creative at 2 a.m. in the morning, That's okay. You don't have to explain it to anybody that your creativity flows at 2 a.m. in the morning. You just need to set your life up so that when you tap into your creativity, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. Because if you try to do it at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, you're not serving your higher self. You're gonna potentially burn out or not produce the best quality of work. And so I feel like a rhythm is what I gift myself with. And because I dance to my own tunes, um, because I dance to my own tunes, the rhythm has allowed me to learn who I am, understand who I am, and
Mm,
operate from that place instead of trying to make myself because status quo, because
mm,
this or because that. So I like allow my truest self to kind of point me into being the CEO because
mm.
that's what's going to make me build block in a way that nobody. I want other people to build home exchange platforms. I do because I think that
Right.
that is the future. So I don't necessarily say I don't want competitors, but what's going to be so amazing for me that they cannot do is my most authentic self. And because I'm
Yeah.
operating from that place of my most authentic self, babe, you can't replicate me because you don't even know what I'm going to do next. Because I don't even know what I'm going to do next. You know, so because I just surprise myself because
Yeah.
I make those little pockets of creativity to flow. Because maybe this day working at the park
Hmm.
might bring me more freedom, right? Because I have a community of other thought leaders around me, somebody might say, yeah, I've been struggling with this, and boom, a light bulb goes off. So I stay open to, what could be around me while also deeply knowing myself.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
mean, I know that sounds very
So your individuality and your rhythm kind of is what's keeping you sort of still inspired to keep doing what you're doing. And
and
also,
curious.
yeah, and it's a way, it's some sort of like maintenance, if I'm kind of, hopefully I'm summarizing it properly.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said a
Yes,
lot
it's.
there.
I know it's wild. It's kind of wild how but it's literally me. Who am I? What do I want? At my best, like, and how can I make it happen?
Mhm.
Me, not how the world tell you should happen. How can I make it happen? And then producing from that place. And that's when I get some of my best work, some of my best ideas. That's when I find rest. That's when by truly being my most authentic self, that's how I am doing what I love. And so, and what was, what the idea here is with this new, incorporating this new pillar in front of home exchange is one of the reasons when people say it's lonely at the top. It's because they put their head down and they built with silos. And so by the time they arrive, per se, guess what? You left all the old people behind you and you don't know nobody else at the top. So the vision here is let's build together and all go to the top together.
Wow.
Like we
Yeah.
don't need to wait till we arrive or be like an expert or get an award or get this. It's okay for us to figure it out as we build and share the notes and trip because if you trip by yourself, shame will put you in the corner and you're like, oh my God, I can't do it. Right? Like, so if you do it with other people, they're giving you their best practices, you can move faster. You can move more strategic because you're not just doing it on your own in your own head. And
Yeah.
so I don't want I don't want to have to say it's lonely at the top because I want to build with the community who's actively climbing to the top on their own ventures and we swap notes and we get there faster. I don't have to watch that YouTube video because you just watched it and you told me you told me the cliff
Basically.
notes and guess what? I can
Trust the
apply that to
source.
what I'm doing and then I can keep going. So, let's do this thing together. Let's
I
be
like,
great
yeah.
together.
You're basically saying, you're going against sort of that level of thinking of that it is lonely at the top. You're also stating that I like what you said. You said when you trip by yourself, shame puts you in the corner. That's a that's a quotable right there.
It really does. You start getting embarrassed. Oh my God, how am
Yeah,
I going to recover from this? But
right.
somebody else be like, oh my God, I did that 4 times. It's okay. You only did it once. And you be like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, so
Well, let
bad.
me come back out. And then they're like, well, you can spend it like this. And you're like, oh, okay. So that's why it's important to have a community around
Yeah.
you of people who are chasing their own dreams, because what you think is an epic fail really might be favor,
Hmm.
really might be something that you can turn into a whole nother side of. It might be an offer
Right.
because now you failed at it. So you can write all the ways that people don't need to fail at it, and then you can sell that.
Yeah. Yeah. There it is. You found a whole new you found like another use for the pain in a way.
And remember when we were saying people don't know how to become entrepreneurial?
Mhm.
Right there, you're talking to other people who say, babe, that pain right there and that L, quote unquote, that you took, you can totally turn that into an offer and speak directly to the people who will fail. And now you sell that to them. And then
Wow.
you digitize it, make it a ebook or a workshop. And guess what? You put that thing on autopilot and now you get back to it.
There it is. Now you
So
moved on.
turning your F's into like you're winning. Like you can
Yeah.
turn these things into something that pays you.
And also it's a form of healing in a way, form of moving on too. Yeah.
My
It's
goodness,
almost
it's so many
therapeutic.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So um
So
I'm
that
excited. I'm excited about what's ahead, but I actively have to live it and I have to say it out loud because sometimes it's like, what are we doing? What are we going? But I am my product. I literally am my product. And
mm,
so the best I maybe I can't put word art in it, but I can show you that I tripped.
yeah, you can. Yeah, which is true. But so what is ahead for Block? What's ahead for Block and also for yourself? What's the can you drop a sneak preview?
Yes, so I see us going on tours,
Okay. All right.
like time traveling tours, which is
Okay.
think pop-up shop meets um community building, right? Like we will go and talk to the people, hear what they have to say about traveling, why they traveling, why they love traveling, why they hate traveling, why they haven't been able to travel, right? Um and for me, because I understand that home exchange and like this whole vision is kind of more like elusive and they can't really put their fingers on it, time traveling tours will help us build conversations around these things. I'm bringing Word on the Block back, which is just like an Instagram live series where we talk to people who are living leisurely, whether it's the actual traveler, whether it's people who are building travel companies,
Mhm.
and that's just conversations. And then yeah, those are the two things that I can share now. But we are rolling out the membership, the first pillar, and it'll be $27.99. You know, like something that because we all exchanging notes. I'm rolling that out and unlocking that in February, so I'm excited about that. And home exchange will be ready to start swapping. We'll be able to start swapping homes as we approach spring.
Wow. Congratulations.
So, it's a lot happening, but it feels cohesive,
Uh,
which
smart.
is
Yeah.
which I feel like uh, it reassures me that I'm exactly where I need to be, doing exactly what I need to be because I don't feel resistance. I don't feel ill-equipped. I don't feel imposter syndrome. I feel like when you just show up as you, the girls that get it. The ones that don't, be great.
You're perfectly plucked. It
I'm
is.
ready.
Got you. Okay, so we got time traveling tours, we have Word on the Block, and then we also have the launch of home exchanges coming in the spring.
Yes, so the
Uh,
overall membership being
overall
launched.
membership,
Yeah, the
yeah,
overall
gotcha.
membership. So the I had a few members. I told you I did the fast. I did it with 15 other people.
All
And
right.
that's kind of wild. Like, what? I led a spiritual fast for
Mm,
25 days with 15 people.
yeah.
Like, okay, but we're coloring outside of the box. We're making our own pictures and we just having a great time on the way to do it.
Wow. And as I always try to put it, you're adding more color to those who are rising to the top. There's a lot more that's happening, and that's one thing I'm very looking forward to seeing
Thank you.
for yourself and the likes of many, many others. So rooting for you and rooting
Thank you.
for it all to go on.
Thank you. Thank you. Because I'm gonna need all the prayers, hopes, wishes, and good energy. But I'm built for it. The
You ready?
receipts are there. The receipts are there. I'm
Is
built for it.
there?
So whether I like it or not, show up. Yes.
Well, we know that you have a day ahead of you. We know there's a lot more still going on. But we like to end off these podcast episodes with a bit of pay me and plane tickets questions to kind of see where you fall on the spectrum. So
Let's
let
do
me
it.
know when you're ready. See if
Let's
you
do it.
stepped up.
Let's do it. Let's see. Off the dome. Off the
All
dome.
right. Now, if you were to be paid in plane tickets, which airline are you choosing?
Ooh. This is gonna sound crazy, but I'm choosing Southwest because they give me two free bags, and I want to be able to travel with my looks because fashion does matter. And I'm like, I just because you got the bag, you ain't got to spend it on.
I'm like, that's the first time, Russ. The first one right there. You definitely made history with that one. Most people go for like the Emirates, they go for the Lufthansa, they go for the Qatars. You're like, no, I need that free bag.
Two free bags.
Two of them,
Hello.
right? And I wonder, yeah, okay. When you do travel, is it Airbnb or hotel?
It's definitely hotels. And it's mostly because I'm allergic to like everything and like detergent, like all these things. So I would literally be that nightmare guest, like, hey, what type of detergent did you use? Could you not
Gotcha.
have plugins? And so instead of me annoying someone,
Mhm.
but if I'm traveling in a group, I'm going to Memphis this weekend. We got a 5 bedroom house.
Gotcha.
So
Right.
groups, Airbnb, solo, hotels.
Hotels. Perfect. It makes sense. That makes sense. When you do travel, do you use like a particular travel credit card, debit card for your points, miles, or are you like me, just pay cash?
I definitely have just been paying cash, but I'm trying to adult my way through life now. And so I am working on building points and traveling from there.
Okay, got you. So
Yeah,
you're gonna
building
make
points on my Capital One credit card.
Capital One. All right. I think they're becoming the top dog in that space, as I hear it.
We're going to find out because I really don't know, but I'm going to find out.
Definitely give us the review when
Yes,
you're
I
done.
definitely will.
Well, this next one is actually probably already answered. When you do travel, check bag or carry on? I'm assuming you're going with the check bag.
Um, Probably both,
Okay, that's
depending on
fair.
how long the trip
Yeah,
is, right?
right.
Probably both. But I would like to not be in the airport having to carry anything at all besides my purse.
Got you. You'd rather just check it.
Yeah,
Move
just
on.
let me
Check it
freely la 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 around the airport.
in. When you do travel, when you do get to the airplane, is it window, aisle, or middle seat?
I'm definitely a window girl.
Got you, dreamer.
Yes, because
Window.
I could sleep the whole flight.
Oh, oh, really?
I could
Just
sleep I
knock
could
out.
literally sleep the whole flight. Um I'll be asleep before we take off.
Oh, you know what? That's not bad because I'm kind of like you. I'll sleep a little bit and then I just stare at space.
Or read a book, right? Like one of those
Something.
two.
Yeah.
But my music is on and I'm in it because I don't need to be getting up using the washroom. So let me sit over here so I don't get in nobody way.
Mm.
Sit in this window seat and going about my business. And right,
Mhm.
head in the clouds type of thing,
Head in the
looking out the
clouds.
window. Yep.
Exactly. Okay. All right. All right. We talked about the good things to travel, but do you have a travel pet peeve?
A travel pet peeve. Ooh. I'm sure if I had to be serious, it's probably a list. Let's just be real.
Got you.
But one that comes to mind, a travel pet peeve that comes to mind is not at bare minimum having the arrival and like departure mapped out. Okay, we got to take an Uber at 6 a.m. We got to be
Gotcha.
there at 2, right? Like,
Hmm.
and then another one.
Go on.
It's not fully experiencing the place, right? Like, if we're going to do dinner, let's go to dinner. Like,
Yeah.
let's experience where
Yeah.
we're going. Let's make it actually count for something. Create memories.
Hmm.
What I call travel bonding. Let's travel bond.
Right. With that, you probably gotta know who you're traveling with.
Because you can't just be traveling with everybody because
No, you
people got
can't.
different traveling styles, different budget tiers, different expectations. Some people
Yeah.
want to party all night. Some people want to sit on the beach all day. Some
Mhm.
people want to stay in the room and sleep. We got to get
Yeah.
understandings. What do we want out of this trip?
You gotta know your travel personality.
Literally, that's a good one right there. What's your travel personality? I like that.
Right.
Notes. You see, notes.
That's all part of the community.
Yes, yes, yes.
Do you have a favorite travel memory?
My favorite travel memory. I don't, because
Particular
I like to
location?
collect them. I like
Mm,
to collect memories from different experiences
got it. And they're all pretty much as equal as the one before, even next.
or as
Valuable.
transform, like
Mm,
because I did this, I learned this thing or
got it.
opened up my mind on this thing. And so I'm like, oh my God, that was amazing for this reason. And that one was amazing for this reason. And
Got
so
you.
I like to collect memories. I don't just have one.
Got you. Okay. Okay. Last one with everybody who's on the podcast. Where's your next flight to?
Oh, I'm going to Memphis tomorrow. I'm going to Memphis tomorrow. Yeah, from New
Nice.
York.
Well, I guess you're getting a little warmer, right? Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's like 50, but New York's weather has been, I feel like it's been cute these few days,
I'm
right?
not gonna lie. It's been, yeah, the last couple days has been not bad.
Yeah. So I mean, I get to take my leather jacket instead of like my winter coat,
Right.
but I think it's going to be like 50s there.
Okay. You're getting not too bad. There you go.
Hmm.
Well, Samela, I want to say thank you for hopping onto the podcast. It was not only I tell everybody this, I end up forgetting this is for other people because I end up learning so much. So I'm always like, wait a
Yes.
second, this is for other people too. And I want to
Yes.
say just thank you for educating not just myself, but others on your mission, your moxie, your firm, and of course, just the new lexicon of words. I mean, Bleisure, I'm telling you, as I said before, you gotta trademark
I do need to get on that.
that.
It's real. I just want to thank you so much for sharing your platform and doing the work that you do because traveling is so transformative and people need to hear different lanes, different ideas, different scopes of it so that they can start doing it themselves. And I'm so pro like traveling is looked at as a privilege, but I feel like it should be a human right.
It
We
is.
should all be able to travel. So, being able to talk on podcasts like this and just have conversations with others who love and obsess over traveling is, I feel like I'm winning. So, thank you so much for even like creating this platform and the work that you do. It means a lot to our industry and just like the community unlocking their mind.
Beautiful. No, thank you. And of course those are kind words, but yeah, no, it takes a collective to actually kind of achieve everything that you've said. And so the more the merrier. Where can people find you in your firm?
Absolutely. I'm Samella Block, so SAMELLABLCK on all platforms. And then Block's page is theblock.io. And
Perfect. Okay.
Block is no O, no O, no O.
No, got you. I like it. Yeah, because you have the it's very what's the word? Like ambidextrous. It's either
Yes. And I
block or
forget
block.
those
Yeah.
words, but
Yeah.
that's right. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And I love it. I
I
love when
like it.
people think it's this or really is this, because it can be both, actually.
It can be both. The black block, there it is.
Exactly. The block that's black, whatever, you know. Yes.
Beautiful.
And we got places to be. We got flights to catch. We want to go see the world. I have not seen enough
Exactly.
of the world, so
I
come on,
haven't
y'all.
either. I
Tell
gotta
me where I
do
need to go.
it.